automatically dinged like that, but whatever. Okay. I'm working off of two cameras here. Two cameras, so. Well, whatever. Bring this down a bit. Okay. Let's just begin the review. This is the two-angled shot of the review of Frozen 2, Disney's Frozen 2, and Won't You Be My Neighbor? Um, so, Frozen 2. What is there to say about Frozen 2? Except that it took 4 years to write a story that basically amounts to a direct-to-DVD storyline because it's expanding on the world of Frozen 2. Not to say it's a bad film, but all they did was really expand the lore. Really, there's no real antagonist. It's just more of fighting a situation. You know, the thing where it's like it was there the whole time. We just didn't tell you. You know, that old thing. And people are like, well, you know, so now because go to North and solve this problem that was laid out by your parents. Oh, and by the way, your mother was a native of the North. It's like, how do you not know that? Like Applejack and MLP, when she says, my mother was a pear? It's like, that's stupid. How do you not know where your mother is from? Like, yes, I could not possibly ever look at her thigh at any point and said, look, it's not an apple, it's a pear. It's like, or whatever. It's like, seriously. It's like you can't pull that I never knew or never suspected crap. Children are naturally inquisitive. They're going to ask the questions, and either you lie your ass off or it was never brought up. Lying your ass off is a lot more believable than it never came up. So, anyway, they go up north to help the spirit because some imaginary alarm, because now it's a sequel, has gone off saying you gotta go north, follow the voice, and find out your grandpa was just an asshole. That's it. That's it. There's nothing new there. The army that they find, as well as the natives, are completely fortuitous, meaning irrelevant to the story. Having them there doesn't impact anything. They don't do anything other than realize, oh wait, they've been fighting for the past 35 years. That's it. While being trapped in the enchanted forest. That's it. So again, this is just a direct-to-DVD sequel storyline. Character-wise, they're still good. Anna and Elsa are, again, the primary focus of the story. Are they good? Yes. Is their dynamic between them good? Yes. Is the story you led them on pretty good? Exceptionally well. Yes.
I went through these before.
Oh. Did you like them?
Eh, so.
So.
I'm just trying to think of anything else.
Well, they're here if you think of something.
You don't have Godzilla the original. No, it's in black and white.
Yeah, I showed it to you, didn't I? Godzilla 19. No, that was 1985. I'm pretty sure I had it somewhere. Yeah, I copied it. It was the one with the guy in it. For sure.
Reporter.
Yeah, reporter. Yeah, didn't you try to watch it? Didn't you try to watch it when I gave you the stack of discs? Remember, I gave you a bunch of Godzilla films. So wasn't that a volume? No. Oh.
Wasn't in there.
Maybe it's in here. I'll take a look in this pile.
If you find it, you find it.
All right. My neighbor. Anyway, so sorry, my voice is a little hoarse because I'm a bit sick and congested. Anyway, the story's good, good enough to watch. Warrant watching in theaters? No, no, no. Kristoff is useless. Sven is useless. Superfluous, sorry. Superfluous. And um, Olaf, they bothered to upgrade a bit so he's not superfluous. He goes has his own character arc that he goes through, which is nice, but he doesn't really bring anything to the table other than emotional arc support that the characters aren't alone in their development and journey. That's it. So Olaf is kind of more legitimized to be there because he has his own thing going on, as opposed to Ven, who just says, "Well, I could have just fucked off and stayed at the castle and would have the exact same impact in the story." So again, um, it I think they're trying to be Avatar. I'm not entirely sure what that was about. It just feels like they needed a sequel and tried to do something, but were too scared to really do anything impactful, rather than lack of imagination too much. So they kind of just did a meandering thing where we'll just, stay in the general area, and not do too much. We'll just expand on the world we live in, and then maybe when you do the third, we'll actually think of something grander to do or something else to do. I don't know, actually go up against the Snow Queen or legitimize um, Once Upon a Time's storyline into it. I don't know. I don't know why they didn't do that in this, but whatever. Anyway. Oh, and the fandom thing with the Elsa. Okay, when Frozen came out, they said that Elsa did not have a love interest, so they thought, well, if she doesn't have a guy interest, maybe she could have a girl interest. Be the first gay, legitimized gay Disney princess couple. Of course, that wasn't going to fly. It's Disney. Disney shipped out um, um, Gen 13 to Europe and Asia to never be seen in the US because they was made with Buena Vista Home Entertainment. So they they did that for another animated movie pilot. So of course they're not going to let this, you know, be legitimizing their own franchise. So that stirred up controversy when the voice actress who played Elsa said, "I wouldn't mind playing a gay character." So that started up a bit of controversy. After that, so now when that was remembered and brought up again, say, is there going to be, a lesbian love interest for Elsa? And they were down and said, no, like, of course not. We're Disney. We're family home entertainment, unquote. So therefore, it riled up them again, of course. So I could see that. So I'm surprised they didn't bother to give her at least a friend to talk to. Like all she has in the world is Anna and Kristoff and Olaf, and that's it. It's like everyone else is just everyone else. It's like she has no confidant, no bestie at all to even vaguely allude to having a relationship with that the fans could overly read into. So, yeah. All right. This looks like a good shot for both of them. Okay, so uh, is it a bad movie? No. Does it make too much sense story wise? Not much. Oh, and that whole line, the cold doesn't bother me anymore. Apparently, Elsa can if you go to like absolute zero, which I don't know how that could exist on the planet, but somehow it can. So, yeah, she turned to ice. I'm guessing it's an overload of her power. It wasn't really explained. It's just Elsa turns to ice too in the sequel. So it's all up to Anna to save the day. Ugh. But whatever. Let's just hope it's a transitional movie, transitional piece, and let's all pray for the sequel to be better, the next one to be better. Um, okay, Mr. Rogers. Won't you be my neighbor? Starring Tom Hanks. Now remember, this is a guy I've seen and followed his movies since he was in Splash, since I was 4 years old. Yes, I am that old. He had a good cry. That's the thing. When he would do crying and moaning, he would have like the best, the weird ass sound I've ever heard. Yeah, I gotta hear it for yourself. But yeah, it's in Splash and kind of in Dragnet. So those are a lot of his early days when he did that. Anyway, and a little bit in Castaway when he was calling when he lost Wilson, just a little in there, just a little. Anyway, so Tom Hanks plays Mr. Rogers, who I also remember watching when I was a kid and back in the 80s and 90s. Um, and uh, I never saw, even on PBS, I never saw um, the more darker stuff. That was I think that was a little bit before my time, but I did come across the more standard social situational stuff like how to deal with feelings, what to do with garbage. I remember that pretty well. Um, of course, a lot of those themes, if they did happen, the more darker themes did happen, they kind of went over my head. I probably didn't know what an assassin was, but I don't recall ever seeing his work in black and white, so I never recall seeing his early work. So, um, yeah, but I do recall he did bother to tackle, certain themes from time to time. Anyway, so this journalist who apparently it's told and we're never really shown that he is jaded, that he writes, you know, not very fondly of people that he's supposed to write about. Of course, we're told this in a throwaway line, play nice and this and that. It's like, so he was terrible to people, and he won an award for doing it. Wow. So we see in the setup scenes that he gets praised for being a great writer, and then he gets um, told to stop doing what he does good, about his writing, and it's just be nice about it. So it's totally contradicting right there. If you're not nice to people, you shouldn't win an award about it. It's like Hitler getting an award for killing Jews. It's like, well, he killed 1 million of them. How many people do you know have killed 1 million people almost single-handedly? It's like that. It's like, and then it's like, now play nice. It's like that. If your job is being kind of mean to people, you shouldn't win an award for it because you're good at it. Is the thing. Okay, that's what I'm trying to convey here. So anyway, this mean, jaded guy, and you wonder, well, why is he mean and jaded? Now, this is the part where things are actually explained because this is the thing we all know very well. Is when family abandons us during times of crisis. Yes, it happens. So this guy is mad at his dad because his dad left during his mother's death. So he was alone in dealing with that. So he was very angry with him. Now, I've had something very similar happen to me, where it was tough and people couldn't handle the sad time, this dark day, pretty much in our lives, and it's understandable. It's understandable, and that person had no real responsibility, so it wasn't just left in my hands or anything. So there was none of that. But I do understand the situation in which the character is in, so I recognize that. And so after all that exploding, and this girlfriend, my God, this girlfriend does not make any sense, because if she's supposed to be his girlfriend and strong-willed as she is, she should have, long before getting married, long before having the kid, should have known what his fucking backstory is, known what his demons are, and would have accepted it and helped him through it. But instead, it's like, well, he never talks about his past, or some BS like that. It's like, I never knew. You you didn't? You didn't know. Oh my! It's like, so. It's like, the question I ask myself is, then what the fuck do you know about this guy? Then why are you married to him? If he's so mean, to people, what he's writing about, and you don't know about his past, then what do you know? Because it doesn't make any sense. So then, having witnessed that, I realized, well, that's just stupid thing, because she's never really on his side about anything. She doesn't understand why he can't talk, why he can't be there, why he has to go. The things he's wrestling with on the inside, because she never got to the inside. And she wouldn't have been with him if she couldn't get that far, in him, in the course of their relationship. It makes no goddamn sense that she wouldn't know anything about this or be able to understand him. And that's why marriages today suck. It's because everyone keeps thinking life is going to be easy. You gotta understand these people. You gotta know all the deep down stuff when they are willing to do it. Don't just, snap your fingers and expect it on command. We're just going to rip our hearts out and put it on the table and say, well, there, this is everything. It hurts. Ripping your heart out hurts. That's why I like Open Range, is because it shows two guys. This is how two guys share their feelings. It isn't, well, I rip my heart out and put it on the table because you need to know my backstory. Because I've now given you sufficient evidence to show that I have a backstory. It took him a day and a half, almost two. So in the middle of the night, he just starts talking next to the guy while they're sleeping. It's a, camping thing. And that feels like a very male thing, because it hurts. You don't want to revisit the past. You don't want to have to rip your heart out. But he does it because he respects him. He knows he owes him that much. But anyway. So this guy goes and meets Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers pretty much just shows him that even though he's such an unrealistic idealization of optimism, he still deals with the same pain that this guy goes through. He saw pain on his face when he was doing the puppet work. He's drawing this from his 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 insecurities, his bad place, his shy place, a very, very private place within him, where all the hurt feelings are at. That's where he's drawing this out, this little voice, this little puppet voice. And he saw that and he realized this guy has so much inside him, so much pain and joy and everything. So he, at that time, was able to respect him and resonate with him. That's why he kept going back and wanted to do more interviews, wanted to understand. Plus, he also was able to help him get through his stuff and why he wanted to go back and had to deal with his stuff. And the dad is attempting to do good, and it's really hard to give people chances when all they know you as is just a shit person. Again, I resonate with that. I really do. I've had people be mean to me too for their own amusement, because their lives are not fun or happy that day. So yeah, I understand. I was able to resonate with this guy a lot better than I did. And Loud and Incredibly Close was just pandering. That's just That's just Oscar, baiting right there. You could have done it without Tom Hanks, really. You could have done it without the backdrop being 9/11. Still would have been a good story, and I still would have gone to see it. But as it was, it just felt like it's just too obviously tugging on the heartstrings. It's tugging on those heartstrings, and Hollywood baiting, you know, the celebrity dad. So, yeah. Sorry, kids. You can't fool me. So, yes. So is it a good film? Yes. Does it do redemption well? Yes. Is it better than My Little Pony? Yes, because it deals with hurt feelings all the way through. It's with extreme reluctance and a lot of therapy are they able to let go of that hate. But trust me, it's not easy to do. He doesn't just open armly, you know, you know, forgive him and receive him and all that stuff. He doesn't just go up there and hug him. No, no, it's a lot of I need to try to work with you because now you need it. You know, so it's a slow, realistic process of redemption and forgiveness, which takes both parties to get through. I'm not crying. I go on. Everyone keeps saying that when I cry, they say I'm not crying. Because no, I actually do have something in my eye that isn't here. So trust me. I know it's kind of hard to see on this one, but on this one, I guess I'm not crying. See. Anyway, so I recommend the Mister Rogers over Frozen. And that's all I can really do is just say that yeah, it dives into the life and times of Mister Rogers and this reporter journalist guy, and it shows that their struggles, their effects on the world, their daily life, their personal daily life, and their professional life. And how it all works together, how it all connects, how they deal with it. So I guess that's everything. Yeah. You're not here to hear about me, so I'll just cut it off there. So, yeah, 1 month left. I still have $300 to make. Tomorrow I'll make almost about 100 of that for Black Friday. I'll be doing crowd control. So I have one job tomorrow. Hopefully I can get 2 jobs in on Friday and then one job on Saturday. So four shifts altogether in 72 hours. And then on Sunday, take the money and pay for the rent for this place. Hopefully. Hopefully. So, then my next video, I guess I'll show whether I'm still here or not. Alrighty. So, take care. And, as always, see you at the movies.